Hello everyone. Let us see how to create a wedding album cover in Photoshop using vector mask. So let us start. This is the image of a wedding ceremony. We will now use vector shapes to create a wedding album cover. So first we will unlock the background. We will then apply vector mask to this image. So how we can apply vector mask? We can just hold Control in PC or Command in Mac, and we will simply click on the mask icon at the bottom of the layers panel. So now we have applied a vector mask to this image layer. So we can see here, this is the vector mask thumbnail. Right, now we will keep the vector mask thumbnail active, and then we will select the pen tool and make sure that the option over here is path, and also make sure that the combine shapes option is turned on. Now we will create a simple heart shape around this couple, and just make sure that the vector mask thumbnail is highlighted and not the image thumbnail. So simply we have to create a shape like this. Right, now we will activate the direct selection tool, and we will start adjusting these points. So we'll create a proper shape. So this is a simple heart shape. Right, now we'll create more shapes. So what we'll do now is we'll create an image. So I have downloaded an image from internet. Let's open that image. This is the image of a butterfly. Now we will select this butterfly image. We'll simply use magic wand and select the butterfly image here. And now we will convert this into a vector shape. Right now this is not a vector shape, this is just an image. We will now convert this image to a vector shape. So how we can convert this to a vector shape? We will simply open the paths panel. We can go to Windows menu and open the paths panel. So here is the paths panel, and once we see a selection around this butterfly image, we can then just click on this option. So what's that option? Make work path from selection. So it will convert the selection to a path. So now we can see there is a path around this butterfly image. Now all we have to do is we'll just go to edit, and here we have the option define custom shape. We'll just select that option and we will give it a name, butterfly shape. Right, so now we have created our own custom shape, and where we can find this custom shape, we simply have to select the custom shape tool, and here we can see our custom shape. So this is our custom shape which is added to this custom shapes panel. Right, then we'll come back to our album cover, and we will keep our layers panel active, and also we will keep our vector mask thumbnail active, and then we will also check whether the option over here is path or not, and also we will check whether the combine shapes is active or not. So it is very important that the combined shapes should be active, and also the option over here should be path, and also the vector mask thumbnail should be active. So when all this is done, we simply have to select our butterfly shape, and then we just have to create the shape. So we can simply see here, and we can rotate it. So then we can just select this path selection tool, and we can just keep it over here. So we can see the parents of the couple are highlighted here. And we will also do one more thing. We will again select the custom shape tool. Again we will select the same butterfly shape, and we will create one more butterfly shape on the right side. So here we can see. So we will again use the path selection tool to select the entire shape. So we can just adjust the shape properly. Right. Now this looks better. Right. So then the next thing we are supposed to do is, we can also try to scale the shapes if we want. So we can scale any shape. So we can scale this heart shape. We can make it big. So something like this. Right. Then the next thing we are supposed to do is, we can add more shapes. There are some additional shapes inside this custom shapes panel, like flowers. There are a variety of flowers. We can just create these flowers. So we can just simply create these flowers like this. Here some more flowers are there. We can also create these flowers. We can move them, and we can just keep creating some nice flowers. So something like this. Right. So now we have created this vector mask shapes. Now what we'll be doing is, we will just take a new layer, or let's say a duplicate layer of this images, or of this image, and we will just delete the vector mask for the top layer. We'll right click and we'll just click on this delete vector mask. Now the vector mask for this layer is gone. Now we will convert the image to a black and white or grayscale image. We'll simply use the shortcut Ctrl Shift U in PC or Command Shift U in Mac. Now the image is converted to a black and white image or a grayscale image. Now we will simply drag the black and white image layer below the vector mask layer. We can see the shapes. So now what we will be doing is, we will try to add some layer styles to this particular vector mask layer. So we'll simply double click on the right side of the vector mask layer, and here we can see the layer style dialog box. So from here we can just select the stroke. We can also select the drop shadow. So we can just see here, we can just adjust it properly. Right. And to make it more attractive, we will do one more thing. We will create a layer below this black and white image layer. We can simply hold Ctrl in PC or Command in Mac and click on the create new layer icon at the bottom of the layers panel. And we will fill this bottom layer with pure black color. Then we will select the black and white image layer and we will reduce its opacity. So we can see here. Now we have added some extra attraction to our wedding album cover. Right. Then the next thing we'll be doing is, we will just create a gradient fill layer above the black and white image layer, and we will try to add some colors, some gradient colors to give it extra attraction. So we can just add colors. Here we can just increase the opacity, so we can see here. So we can see how it's looking. So here we have added some attraction to it, so we can see here. Now this looks attractive, and to make it more attractive, we'll do one thing. We can actually combine these colors with blending modes. So here we will just select a screen blending mode, so we can see here, and we will take one more duplicate of this gradient fill layer, and then we will change the blending mode to soft light. So now we can see, and we can also slightly reduce the opacity, so we can see here. So we got some attraction here. We can just reduce the opacity so the colors won't be too dark. So here we can see, now it looks attractive, right? So now what we'll be doing is, we will just select the text, the type tool, and we will just type something here. We will use a font that is Great Vibes. This font can be downloaded from 1001fonts.com. So we'll just type wishing you a happy married life. So something like this we can just type, and we can just keep the text at the center. So something like this, and then we can just give this text pure yellow color. So we'll just highlight the text, or we'll just open the layer styles, and here we can give it a pure yellow color, and we will also give it some drop shadow, so we can see here. Now this looks better. And to give the album more attraction, we'll do one more thing, that is, we will select the vector mask layer, and we will right click on the vector mask thumbnail, and we will convert the vector mask to layer mask. So how we can do that? We will just select the option rasterize vector mask. Now the vector mask is converted to a layer mask. Now we can use brushes. So we will just select a brush. We will select this Kyle splatter brush. This brush is available in all the latest versions of Photoshop. We'll just select it, and then we will just create some sprinkling. So we can see here, but we will make sure that the size of the brush is a little bit small. We can create a variation here. So in some places it will be big, some places it will be small. So it gives some extra attraction and appeal to our wedding album. So something like this. So we can do something like this, and then we can do one last thing. Then we can just apply one curves adjustment layer on top of all the layers, and we can also control the brightness here. So we can see here, now this looks more attractive, right? One last attraction that we'll be giving is we'll just double click on this vector mask layer to open the layer styles, and here we have the option inner shadow. We can give inner shadow, and we will just change the blending mode for inner shadow to normal. We will increase the opacity here, we can see here. So the inner shadow gives extra attraction. So we can also slightly increase the size, and we can slightly reduce the opacity, right? We will also slightly change the drop shadow settings. We will try to increase the distance, so we can see here. So we can see a visible change here. We can slightly increase the size value also, but let's not increase it too much. So just we can play with these settings, distance and size, so we can see how the shapes are appearing. Right, we'll just control the color value by applying one last adjustment to the album, so that is hue and saturation. So what we'll be doing is we'll try to just increase the hue value here, so we can see how the colors are changing, and we can also reduce the saturation here. So we can just try to play with these settings of hue and saturation. We can get some nice interesting colors here, so it will give some extra attraction to the wedding album. So we can just slightly reduce the color. Right, now this looks better. Right, and we can do one last thing, that is we can just apply this brightness and contrast to the wedding album cover, and we will try to increase the contrast. So we can see here, but let's not increase it too much, just we will increase it just a little bit, and we can also slightly increase the brightness. Right, so this is the wedding album cover in Photoshop using vector mask shapes. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.